Hi everyone. I'm getting ready to go outside to work on the garden. It's earlier in the morning, but I have some yellow leaves, some sad looking plants, and some bugs that are showing up in my garden. But don't worry, because today I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot the most common container gardening problems all on a tight budget. I am using my top 3 arsenal of resources to revive and protect container plants, all made from products that you can find in your own house or your own kitchen. So this is a sneak peek into some of the resources that I use to help revive my plants that need more nutrients, or to help fight off some bugs that might be showing up in the plants that I have in my container garden. The first one is ground coffee. So I brewed some earlier yesterday morning when I had my coffee, and I just saved the coffee grounds. And I made some hard-boiled eggs, and I saved the shells and just ground them up a bit. We're going to take those outside with us today. And the last thing I use as a bug repellent is mild soap and water for my plants in the container garden. So with that in our arsenal, ready to head out, let's get outside. We are working first on my basil plant this morning. We had an unusual amount of rain in Florida. It rained for a couple of days straight, and I believe that that is what really took my basil plant from flourishing to needing some revival. The leaves started to get brown, and the plants started to get leggy, and they started to get yellow. And yellowing is typically a sign of overwatering. So in order to take care of that today, we're gonna put some eggshells. The eggshells that I crushed into like a powder, and we're gonna use them as a fertilizer to provide calcium to help revive this plant. Now I already know that this plant has a good drainage system, so I'm just going to work on the nutrients issue to try to revive that plant. And if it comes down to it, I'm going to snip it down so it's less leggy, and hopefully it'll reflourish. Now I also see that it is flowering a bit, so I am going to prune those as well. And all you do is you just snip off the top, and it will help grow bigger, stronger leaves. So let's get to work on that. Here's some of my crushed shells, my egg shells. And those are going to go right into the bottom. We're going to move on to the next plant, and when I'm done with using my resources to revive the garden, then I'm going to water them as I need to. Okay, so let's move on to our tomato plant. Okay, our tomato plant, this is a cherry tomato plant, has been doing great this year, and it still continues to produce for us. But I did notice on some of the leaves that there are these trails indicating there's a bug problem developing. Now it's not on all the leaves, but it is on some of the leaves. So I do want to be proactive and make sure that this plant continues to produce for us. Now there are a lot of bugs that could come into your garden. The aphids, it could be fungus gnats, bugs, slugs. The chances are is that some kind of bug is looking for a snack in your garden. Here's how to kick them without chemicals. And I will insert my video on how I make my own bug repellent safe for your plants. Here I am putting together some mild soap with water, which will be used for my outdoor container garden plants to help get rid of any bugs or anything that's starting to infest the leaves or the fruits of my garden. So we're gonna put it together, and this is only made up of 2 ingredients. One is mild soap, like Dawn, and water. And a spray bottle I had from my house. So I'm gonna reuse that, and I'm going to pour in just 1 teaspoon of detergent. And then I'm going to fill it up with water. And it really is that simple. And we'll use a secondary method to prevent any insects to finding a happy home in our hard-earned plant investments. And I have a special treat at the end of this video because we had an unwelcome visitor to our house, and I will leave that video at the end. You're going to want to watch that. So this is the mild soap and water that I'm using on the plants. And what you want to do is just get underneath the leaf and give them a little spray. Here's a bunch right here. I'm going to get down here. Okay, that should do it. Now what I'm going to do is add the coffee grounds to the base of the container. And that is my secondary measure of taking care of any bug problems and keeping them away. So here's my coffee grounds, and I'm just gonna go around the bottom of the plant. Okay, these are the only 2 plants that I noticed so far this season that are having a bit of a problem. I also noticed that my Thai basil needs to be pruned, so we're gonna head over there next. Thai basil is much like any other basil. When you start to see them flower, and here's a pretty little flower, it's purple. On Thai basil, it's quite pretty. You pluck off the top of it. Just pinch it right off. So we are gonna pinch off some of these larger flowers today. So this bush will continue to grow and get bushier. Looks pretty good. Okay. So since we're out here, I'm going to give you a shot of my cowhorn peppers so I can let you know how they're doing. These are the cowhorn peppers. And we want to pick them when they're nice and red. So we've got a few that are coming along nicely. This plant's starting to get nice and tall and developing lots of good fruit. Look at these. You can see why they call it cowhorn. That one's a beauty. I love just coming out here sometimes and seeing how they're progressing every day, but if you just pull back the leaves at the top, you can see what's growing underneath. You can come across a lot of problems when you're growing a garden, from bugs to too much rain to your containers drying out too quickly. There's a lot of different things you can do besides what I just showed you today. Like you can try mulching with what you already have at home. The nice thing about container gardening is that you can move your plants to adjust the amount of sunlight, rain, wind, or natural elements that might damage the plant. For us, we had to move a few plants to adjust for sunlight and rain and to just get wind going through beneath the plants. We planted our containers too close together, and as they grew and developed and got bigger, there was less air for them to dry out or to just breathe. So we did have to move some plants to adjust. When plants get leggy and weak, they're usually reaching for light. Plants like a lot of pruning. Basil plants are proof of that. We need to continue to come out here every other day by pruning and pinching off the top flowers to keep the plants healthy, growing, and most of all, producing. Gardening is trial and error. Even the most experienced gardeners face setbacks. The key is learning and adjusting. Tell me about what garden problems you have dealt with or you're dealing with right now. Let me know in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. He's moving.
Which way is he going?
He's going towards your chair. Please keep going. Keep going, buddy. Keep going.
You gotta take a left.
Yep. Yep. He's going.